Have you ever found yourself second-guessing a friend's intentions, even when they've done nothing wrong? Or maybe you've held back in a relationship, building walls so high that no one can get through. If trust feels like a fragile glass sculpture in your life, one wrong move and it shatters, this video might just reveal the hidden reason why. Stick around, because we're diving deep into the psychology of trust, and by the end, you'll have tools to rebuild it stronger than ever.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're new here and want more insights into the mind's hidden workings, hit that subscribe button right now. It'll keep you in the loop on all our deep dives into human behavior.
Let's start at the beginning. Trust isn't something we're born with. It's built layer by layer from our earliest experiences. Think about it. As babies, we rely completely on our caregivers for survival. If those early bonds are secure, if our cries are met with comfort, our needs with care, we learn that the world is a safe place and people can be depended on. But what if that's not your story? What if those foundational moments were riddled with inconsistency, neglect, or even betrayal? That's where attachment theory comes in, a powerhouse psychological framework developed by John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. It explains why some of us grow up with a secure attachment style, trusting easily, while others develop anxious, avoidant, or disorganized styles that make trust feel like walking a tightrope over a pit of snakes. Imagine a child whose parent promises to pick them up from school every day, but shows up late half the time or not at all. That kid learns early on that promises aren't reliable. Fast forward to adulthood, and that same person might sabotage relationships by constantly testing their partner's loyalty, maybe through jealousy or unnecessary arguments. It's not conscious. It's a survival mechanism wired into the brain. Psychologists call this internal working models, mental blueprints we carry from childhood that shape how we view ourselves and others. If your model says, "People will let me down," you'll see evidence of it everywhere, even when it's not there. This is confirmation bias in action, a cognitive shortcut where your brain filters reality to match your expectations. It's sneaky, powerful, and it keeps the cycle of distrust spinning. But childhood isn't the only culprit. Let's talk about betrayal trauma, the kind that hits like a freight train in adulthood. Have you ever been cheated on, lied to by a close friend, or backstabbed at work? It's sneaky, powerful, and it keeps the cycle of distrust spinning. According to trauma expert Jennifer Freyd, betrayal trauma occurs when the betrayer is someone you depend on, amplifying the pain because it violates that core need for safety in relationships. Your brain's amygdala, the fear center, goes into overdrive, flooding you with stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, this can lead to hypervigilance, where you're always scanning for threats, even in safe situations. It's exhausting, right? You might find yourself replaying past hurts in your mind, a process called rumination, which reinforces the neural pathways of distrust. Studies from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology show that people who've experienced betrayal are 30% less likely to trust new people, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now let's layer in evolutionary psychology, because trust isn't just personal, it's primal. Our ancestors survived in tribes where trust meant the difference between life and death. If you couldn't trust your hunting partner not to steal your share or your mate to watch the kids, the group fell apart. So our brains evolved with mechanisms like oxytocin, the trust hormone, which surges during positive social interactions, making us feel bonded. But when trust is broken, oxytocin plummets and we retreat into self-protection mode. This is why ghosting in modern dating feels so visceral. It's echoing that ancient fear of abandonment from the tribe. Fascinatingly, research by Paul Zak shows that even small acts of trust, like sharing a secret, can boost oxytocin and start rebuilding those bonds. But if your trust issues stem from deeper wounds, it takes more than a pat on the back. Speaking of deeper wounds, let's explore how personality traits play into this. Are you an introvert who naturally keeps people at arm's length? Or perhaps you score high on neuroticism in the Big Five personality model, making you more prone to anxiety and doubt.
These aren't flaws, they're variations in how our brains are wired.
Neuroticism, for instance, correlates with higher activity in the brain's default mode network, which is responsible for self-referential thinking, like obsessing over, what if they hurt me?
But here's the empowering part. Psychology offers techniques to rewire this.
Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a gold standard here. It teaches you to challenge distorted thoughts. For example, if you think, everyone will eventually betray me, CBT guides you to gather evidence against it. Has everyone betrayed me? No, just a few. Over time, this shifts your internal narrative. Let's pause for a real-life story to make this hit home.
I once worked with a client, let's call her Sarah, who couldn't trust anyone after her ex-husband's affair.
She described it as feeling like her heart was wrapped in barbed wire. Through therapy, we uncovered that her distrust traced back to her alcoholic father, who promised sobriety but always relapsed. Using EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, we processed those old memories, reducing their emotional charge. Sarah started small, trusting a barista to get her coffee order right, then a friend with a minor secret.
Months later, she was in a healthy relationship, vulnerability and all.
Stories like Sarah's show that trust issues aren't a life sentence, they're a signal to heal. But what about self-trust? This is often the overlooked root. If you don't trust your own judgment, maybe because past decisions led to pain, you project that outward. Psychologists like Kristen Neff emphasize self-compassion as the antidote. It's okay that I made a mistake. I'm human. Practices like journaling can help. Write down 3 times you trusted wisely and it paid off. This builds a positive feedback loop, strengthening your self-efficacy, a concept from Albert Bandura's social learning theory. When you trust yourself, trusting others becomes less terrifying. Now diving into attachment styles in more detail, because this is crucial. Secure attachers, about 60% of the population, trust easily because their early experiences taught them people are reliable. Anxious attachers crave closeness but fear rejection, leading to clinginess that pushes people away. Avoidant attachers value independence so much they avoid deep bonds altogether. And disorganized? That's the wild card, often from abusive backgrounds where trust feels chaotic. If this resonates, take the adult attachment interview or a simple online quiz, but consult a pro for accuracy. Understanding your style is step 1 to change. For anxious types, mindfulness meditation reduces that fear-driven overthinking. Apps like Headspace have guided sessions on trust building. Let's talk practical techniques now, because knowledge without action is just trivia. First, the trust ladder exercise. Start with low-stakes trust acts, like delegating a small task at work, and climb up to bigger ones like sharing vulnerabilities. Each success reinforces positive neural pathways via neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself. Second, use the RAIN method from Tara Brach. Recognize the distrust feeling. Allow it without judgment. Investigate its roots, childhood, betrayal, and nurture yourself with kindness. This interrupts the automatic distrust response. Third, boundary setting. Ironically, trust flourishes with clear boundaries. Communicate them assertively. I need honesty about plans changing. This uses assertiveness training from behavioral psychology, reducing resentment buildup. Fourth, exposure therapy light. Gradually expose yourself to trust scenarios.
Join a group hobby where reliability is key, like a book club.
Over time, your brain habituates and trust feels normal. But beware of pitfalls. Gaslighting, when someone makes you doubt your reality, can erode trust further.
Recognize signs. Constant denial of facts, blame shifting. If you're in a toxic dynamic, therapy or coaching helps.
Also, cultural factors. In collectivist societies, trust is group-based. In individualistic ones, it's personal.
If you're from a high-trust culture like Scandinavia, but live in a low-trust one, that mismatch can amplify issues.
Let's explore the neuroscience deeper.
The prefrontal cortex handles rational trust decisions, but trauma shrinks the hippocampus, impairing memory processing and making past hurts feel present. Techniques like yoga or aerobic exercise boost BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which promotes hippocampal growth. Studies from Harvard show that even 30 minutes daily can enhance emotional regulation.
Now for relationships, trust is a dance. John Gottman's research on couples reveals the magic ratio. 5 positive interactions for every negative one builds trust.
Compliments, active listening, small gestures. If trust is broken, his repair attempts are key. Apologize sincerely, make amends. But rebuilding takes time. Patience is non-negotiable.
In friendships, trust issues might show as flakiness or gossip fear.
Build slowly. Consistency over intensity.
Share incrementally. Gauge responses.
At work, distrust leads to micromanaging or isolation. Use psychological safety concepts from Amy Edmondson. Foster environments where mistakes are learning opportunities.
For parents, if your trust struggles affect kids, model healthy trust.
I feel scared because of past hurts, but I'm working on it.
As we wrap up, remember, struggling with trust doesn't make you broken. It makes you human.
The reason might be childhood echoes, betrayals, biology, or self-doubt, but the power to change is yours. Start small. Seek support if needed. A therapist can be your trusted ally.
You've got this. Thanks for watching this deep dive. Drop a comment. What's your biggest trust challenge? Like and share if this resonated. See you next time.